Hello friends, this video on alternating currents part 26 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 25 before going ahead with part 26. So now let us look at the oscillations in the LC circuit step by step. So this is my LC circuit. Let us suppose we consider the initial stage, that is the first step when my capacitor is fully charged by taking all the energy from a cell. So let us suppose from here we supply this is the cell which supplies the alternating current to the circuit. So the capacitor takes all the energy from the cell and charges itself. So right now you see that all the energy is stored with the capacitor. How much energy is stored here? It is Q square by 2C. And what is the energy with the inductor? Nothing, because there is no current or no EMF with the inductor right now. Now what happens in the next stage? The capacitor starts discharging to the inductor. Now as soon as the capacitor starts discharging, there is some current flowing through the circuit. So due to this change in current, since it is an alternating current, so due to the change in the current, the inductor experiences a change in flux. And due to this change in flux, there will be an induced EMF in this inductor. So that induced EMF will be given by minus L di by dt. So this induced EMF will try to oppose the change which produced it. So the induced EMF will try to oppose the growth of current. Therefore, it will encourage the discharging of the capacitor. So the capacitor will keep on discharging. As the capacitor discharges, the energy in this capacitor, that is this value, keeps decreasing and this value keeps increasing. So finally, we reach at stage 3 where what happens? The capacitor is completely discharged. So that means there is no energy stored in the capacitor and the entire energy is now stored by the inductor as magnetic field energy, that is half Li square. So now your magnetic field energy is maximum. So what happens again? Due to the change in current, because earlier the current was flowing through it and now the capacitor is completely discharged, so no current is flowing. So that means there is a change in current. So due to the change in current, again the inductor experiences a change in flux, because of which the induced EMF is present, or induced EMF gets induced, which tries to oppose the change. Now what is the change? The change is the decay of current. So it tries to oppose the decay of current. As a result, it starts charging the capacitor. Right? Earlier it encouraged the discharging of the capacitor. Now it will encourage the charging of the capacitor. So because of this induced EMF, the capacitor will again starts charging up. So in this stage 4, we see that the capacitor is getting charged. So capacitor getting charged means the electric field energy stored in the capacitor will again start increasing and the magnetic field energy stored by the inductor will again start decreasing, right? And finally it will reach stage 5 where the capacitor is again fully charged and the inductor doesn't have any energy. That means again at this step the electric field energy stored would be Q square by 2C and the magnetic field energy would be 0. So that means this process will keep continuing and such oscillations of the electric field energy and magnetic field energy between a capacitor and inductor respectively are termed as LC oscillations. Right? So now we will have a comparison of this LC oscillations with the mechanical oscillations which we have when we attach a block of some mass, say m, with a spring. We see that the pattern of oscillations which we observe there is very much comparable with the LC oscillations which we see in an electrical circuit. So let us have a close look. If you look at it, first forget about your LC oscillations. Just think of a block of mass m. Here you see this block of mass m which is attached to a spring. So now if the block oscillates this way, and let us suppose that the spring has a spring constant k and the block is of mass m. This block is of mass m and it has the spring has a spring constant k. So how do I express the oscillation of this block? We can write it in this form: d square x by dt square plus omega square x is equal to 0. This equation represents the oscillation of this block attached to the spring, where omega is equal to root over k by m, where k is the force constant for the spring or the spring constant, right? So this is how we define the oscillations of a block attached to a spring in mechanical physics, right? Now let us have a comparison of this with the LC oscillations which we studied in our electrical circuit just now. So if you consider the first step, what did you see? We saw that the entire energy was stored with the capacitor and there was no energy stored with the inductor. Now, if you compare it with the corresponding scenario in case of this block, what happens here? In this case, the entire energy is the potential energy of the spring, that is half Ka square, right? When the spring is stretched. So in this case, the entire energy is stored as potential energy and the kinetic energy is equal to 0, because right now the spring is not moving. It is just talking about the extreme position. Now in the next step in our electrical system, the capacitor starts discharging. That means UE starts decreasing and UB starts increasing. The electrical energy starts decreasing and the magnetic field energy starts increasing. In this case also, what happens, as the block moves relatively towards the mean position, what happens? The potential energy starts decreasing and the kinetic energy starts increasing, because now the block started moving. So it gained some kinetic energy. So kinetic energy started increasing at the cost of the potential energy, right? In the third step now, in my electrical circuit, what happened? The capacitor is completely discharged. That means the electrical energy became the electric field energy became completely 0 and the magnetic field energy became maximum. So here also in this case, as soon as it reached the equilibrium position, the magnetic potential energy, the potential energy became 0 and the kinetic energy here at the mean position is maximum. So at the mean position, anyways, the kinetic energy is maximum because the block has a huge tendency to move towards the side, right? So here the kinetic energy is maximum and your potential energy became 0. So when you yet again move to the fourth step, here you see that the capacitor starts charging again. That means the electric field energy starts increasing and the magnetic field energy starts decreasing. So here also the same thing happens. Before this, the kinetic energy was at its maximum. Now again, when it moves beyond the mean position, the kinetic energy starts decreasing and the potential energy again starts increasing. Then again, when the capacitor gets completely charged, the electric field energy again become maximum, that is q square by 2c, and the magnetic field energy again comes back to 0. And similarly with the spring, when the spring again reaches the extreme position on the other end, its potential energy again becomes maximum and the kinetic energy again becomes 0. So when we look at this mechanical system of the block attached to the spring, we see that the relation between the kinetic energy and the potential energy is the same as the relation between the electric field energy and the magnetic field energy in case of our LC circuit. So because of this, these are known as LC oscillations and it is very much analogous with the mechanical oscillations of block and spring. So we will quickly have a review of comparison between the LC oscillations in electrical circuit and the mechanical oscillations. Let us suppose this side I have my mechanical system, and this side I have my electrical system, that is my LC circuit. So when I talk about my mechanical system, the energy I am talking about is the mechanical energy, right? The energy transformation which I am talking about, that is kinetic energy to potential energy to kinetic energy. So I am talking all about mechanical energy. When I am talking about my electrical circuit, I am talking about electromagnetic energy. right? Because I'm talking about electric field energy, magnetic field energy, right? So I'm talking about electromagnetic energy here. When I'm talking about my mechanical system, I'm defining force as mass into acceleration, which is nothing but m into d square x by dt square. Whereas when I'm talking about my electrical system, I am defining the induced EMF, because so when we talk about the mechanical system, it is the force which is given by mass into acceleration is the cause for this oscillation. When we talk about our electrical circuit, the induced EMF is the cause of this oscillation. Because of the induced EMF, there is charging of capacitor, and because of the induced EMF again, there is discharging of the capacitor. So this induced EMF is given as L di by dt, which is equal to L d square q by dt square. So if you compare these two expressions, this expression in mechanics and this expression in electrical system, you see that mass in mechanical system is analogous to the self-inductance in electrical circuit. Also, in case of a mechanical system, the frequency is given as root over k by m, where k is the spring constant. Similarly, in this case, electrical circuit, the frequency is given by 1 by root over LC. So from this we see that, as I already mentioned, that M and L are analogous. So similarly, we can say that the spring constant K is analogous to reciprocal of capacitance in electrical circuit. In mechanical system, the total energy which we are talking about is the potential energy plus kinetic energy. So potential energy is half kx square plus kinetic energy, that is half mv square. In our electrical system, the total energy which we are talking about is the energy stored as electric field energy, that is half q square by c, plus the energy stored as magnetic field energy, that is half Li square. So this was an analogous comparison between mechanical oscillations and LC oscillations. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.